All right, welcome to this meeting of the Budget Committee. It is now 6:09. I call this meeting to order. I am Alyssa Bascom, Chair of the School Board. Because this is the first meeting of the Budget Committee for this new session, we do not have a chair at the moment. So first order of business is to take any interest in the public for chair of this board.
That's okay, you can reorder the agenda. And that's okay, you're gonna do election first and do review of orientation materials second. No worries, keep going. It's all
Okay,
good.
I haven't actually seen the agenda.
No, go ahead.
It's on your packet.
Oh, good. Keep going.
Keep
I
going,
think
sorry.
It makes sense. It's
Good,
okay.
it's good.
Well, I would
Fine.
like to hand it over to the actual chair of the Budget Committee, so
We don't have one yet.
which is why we're doing this first.
Yeah, do you want it? Do you wanna do it?
I can't do it.
You
So
can't, okay.
we,
Oh, right.
so we can't do it,
That's why you were gonna review. We're gonna
Right.
review the orientation materials for the budget.
but it's okay, we can do backwards. So the rule,
Right. I forgot, sorry.
the rules are not clear. And what you have in your packet is, chapter 32 and chapter 195. And chapter 195 and 32 deal with municipal budget law and cooperative school districts. So why this is relevant to election of the chair, as you may or may not know, there's rules about who can be chair and who can't be chair.
Right.
We reached out to our counsel, our legal, counsel, and got an opinion that, only those members serving at large can be chair. There is absolutely some ambiguity to that. There's some confusion behind that. I don't disagree with people's opinions. That doesn't necessarily make sense in all avenues. But right now, my personal belief is that we go off of what the attorney has said, and that so that the at-large position can be chair. Anybody can be vice chair, anybody can be secretary, but the at-large position can be chair, which means that Jerry and Garrett can be chair. And maybe what we should do, does everybody know each other? Sorry. We can do that first
Okay,
as well.
I think we do, but let's do it for the public's sake.
Okay. You can go, wanna go
All
first?
right, then
You're Elizabeth.
I'm Alyssa Bascom. I am chair of the school board. And to my left, we have Dr. Deb Anso, who is our superintendent. Now, you want to start?
Cherry Henry, I live in Langdon, I can be at large. So,
You. Guess what's coming?
yeah,
Hi, Jamie Teague. I'm an at-large school board member who was assigned to the committee from last year. Not formally assigned yet this year.
And I'm Amanda Chafee. I am the representative from Langdon.
Gary Gale, budget committee at large, I reside in Charlestown.
Ryan Schoonover, Hackworth. Suzanne Clark, representing Alstead.
Chris Spalding, representing Charleston.
The gang's all here.
Except for Steve.
It's the first student.
Yes,
last
Steve.
year.
We heard that he is coming for 6:30.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. No, we haven't
did.
heard it.
We haven't heard
we
it.
haven't heard.
I mean, text him and ask him if he's coming.
Yes.
All we've done is Amanda did this amazing packet. And we had Alyssa open the meeting at 6:09, okay? And she was just reviewing, I think it's 32:15,
Yeah.
section 32:15, about who can and can't be chair. Because I totally forgot that it has to be at large.
Right.
And then we reviewed that the at-large members are Jerry and Garrett. I'm gonna keep calling you. No, you know what, I'll remember, you wanna know why? I have a chair, Garrett.
There you go. I like the mnemonic.
No resemblance to you, I remember that.
I'll remember that.
So, so that's, I think that's where we are right now, is that we have Garrett and Jerry, and that one of them is
Destined to be.
destined to be chair. Thank you, Chair. Yes. So I guess it's,
Woo-hoo, you want arm wrestle?
Oh, you look like you might.
I'm tired today, so you got a fighting chance.
Or either be particularly interested in stepping into the role of leading this
do it.
committee.
Okay, we love
I would
volunteers.
do it as well, so. However the board decides, fine with me.
How about,
Okay, so is there any discussion or
Should
would
we
you like
make-
to just take it to? Here's the
Sure, I
floor.
have some discussion.
Yeah, and I have a
Discuss,
thought.
you know, I like to say a few
Okay.
things every now and then, on occasion. At this point, I would say, I would have to nominate Garrett, and the reason is this. You were on the committee last year, you are familiar, but I'm hesitant would be hesitant to vote for you because you missed a number of meetings last year, and I think that is important, if you're gonna be chair, that you be here as often as possible, so that's where my inclination would go. Because I think it's vital to have our chair and our vice chair here as much as possible, so that's why I would say that. And I know Garrett has run meetings before and so, and I think there's enough capable people here to step in if, you know, to referee here and there, so that's what.
Go ahead.
so duly noted.
Mhm.
My thought process would be to nominate Jerry just because he was here he's been through one cycle, right? I mean, granted, missed a few meetings, but I think some of that might have been because of communication issues. I'm not positive, but just because he's been through one cycle, so he's used to it. But I'm not opposed to nominating both of them, chair and vice chair, and then that automatically they work together and they're both at large.
Can happen too.
Just a thought or not.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Just to let Chris know, I mean, I was working an hour and a half away before, now I'm 10 minutes away. So I'm local now, makes it very easy to get here.
No, go ahead, Jerry.
To Jamie's concern about me not being here, I did my homework, I listened to every meeting since 1/4/24 that I did not personally attend,
Gotcha, okay.
and some of them were long.
Yes, they are.
So I got a real good feel for what you guys did last year, maybe not verbatim,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I had a suspicion I might end up in the chair role, so
Ah.
I did my homework so I could hit the ground running.
Very good. Sounds awesome. Yeah, so what do you want to do? We can do a
Take them one at a
nomination.
time and see if there's a,
Entertain a motion?
Sure.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Entertain a motion?
Yeah, this is where it gets weird when you vote on two different people.
Yeah,
Yep.
do you ballot it then?
You can, yeah, so normally, because we've been through this at our own school board. So where there were two nominations for the same role and per school board law, you're supposed to take one at a time. Problem is, how do you determine which one to take first, right? Based on the nomination, it'll automatically probably eliminate the second one or not. I mean, it just gets weird. That's all right, whatever, it's all weird.
Is it,
Secret ballot.
is it okay to do it by ballot?
You can,
You have
I think
seven,
you
so-
can. I think if we do a nomination for both and then put them on a paper ballot and have everybody just go for it and we see what we come out with, I think that's the fairest way to do it.
I agree.
and
Does
the
anybody
least-
have any concerns with that?
I have no objection.
And I think either one of you would do a great job. I have no qualms. I'm happy that you're both willing. So yes, entertain nomination. Doesn't need a second.
Push the vote.
No, we gotta nominate them both first.
Oh, I would.
Oh. Okay,
We
so
already
I will
did.
nominate, did we already nominate?
We
No,
nominated
we
him.
motion.
No motion, it was just,
He was
Oh.
just
we were
speaking.
Right.
discussing.
So I'll
Yeah.
nominate Jerry Henry,
Okay,
and then you're gonna nominate Garrett, and then we'll vote by Australian ballot. Okay, sure.
is that legal and legit?
Yes.
Yes.
Just make
Yes,
sure.
and they don't
Yes.
require seconds on nominations for commitment.
Does that meet RSA 195?
And you don't need seconds because they're committee matters.
Right.
Do you want me to say it again? I've been through a million budget committees.
Are you all comfortable writing a name? Or would you like to write a number so that?
No, we're gonna give it to you and you're gonna
Yes.
tell me. How's that? Okay, so. It's terrible. Jerry with a G. J.
Jay.
No, I can't get that in my head. I know I did the minutes.
Sorry, I spelled your name wrong
Six
all the
times.
time.
Are you gonna go on the platform?
I know.
Oh, wow.
Right in this box. I feel like I'm packing.
Great.
I see. Is it two T's on yours or one?
One time.
No, I remember doing
Well,
Yes, yeah.
oh, I haven't done it yet. I'm sorry.
You have a bucket.
Should
I
go.
was on it.
First and last name?
No, I'm.
Okay.
Figure it
I was like, wait a
out.
second. Well, so- Jamie was spelling Garrett's last name, I was like, oh, wait. Oh, got it, I was like, oh, wait.
I'm doing
Oh, I know.
minutes.
I like one in every color, gotta match what I'm wearing.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't have an imperfect, I have a small one. I've got another one.
And blue, and black, and red,
That's me.
yellow, white. Brown.
Spoiler alert, she would still only drink out of it.
That's true. The other ones are dirty.
And by a vote of 5-2, we welcome Garrett as our new chair.
Okay, great. All right.
Alright, thank you, everyone. Do we want to stay on elections of officers? Because we're already here.
Yes.
Alright, do I have a nomination for vice president?
Yes, I nominate Amanda Chafee.
For vice chair, sorry.
That's what we. Okay, Chris.
I did it last year, do it again. If anybody else wants to do it, step up.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
That's correct. We don't need seconds for this.
Correct. You can call the roll.
All those in favor?
All those in favor, thank you. Say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
We should always vote for yourself.
Does this committee elect a secretary or do they just beat on Jamie?
No, we elect.
Oh, we beat on Jane.
It seems like she did quite a bit last year.
I did it by default.
We elect Jamie because she's not formally on the committee yet.
I think I'd serve until until they appoint.
Until,
somebody
okay,
else.
okay, that's fine.
I do believe you serve until somebody else is appointed.
Okay, well, I nominate Jamie if you're willing
fine.
to take it.
I second that motion.
You don't need one, but.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard it too, Jamie, just so you know.
Okay, well, okay, so. I will do it unless it becomes too much with everything else going on, but I will do that for now. I will do it and I will make my best effort to get it done in the time frame. Otherwise, if I can't get it done in the time frame, people are gonna have a problem and I'll go.
I will give you an assist as you need it. If you need it.
Well, we're just gonna figure out how to do the AI thing for our meetings because it really works well. Yeah.
All right,
job.
all those in favor of Jamie Teague for secretary, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Perfect. That's all the officers we have to elect. correct?
That's correct.
Review of orientation materials. I guess this would be where it'd be offered for me as a chair.
Yep.
There's somebody that's more fluent.
I'll talk about it, speak to it. Okay, so in your packet, you will find the guidelines, the Fall Mountain District Budget Committee guidelines. This is a document that that we came up with as a committee last year. It was last reviewed in November. It kind of goes through the objective, member duties, how we use our email, how, committee governance, those type of things. The next piece here is the calendar, and this is important because I think we need to do this tonight. We need to figure out what our calendar is for the next year. So I wanted to give you what we used last year. This is very colorful, but it is there because there's it's not just our calendar, it's the school board calendar, it has days that we vote on it, it has, so it's all of the calendars, it's supposed to be all of the calendars in one document. Then we have the articles of agreement between the towns. And this is important because this talks about, how the cooperative is constructed and built. It goes through the methods, which are, complicated. And it's relevant for everybody, especially a first-time board. It's relevant for everybody to review them, but it's also relevant for a first-time committee member because you may or may not have any idea about the methods and how they are kind of distributed amongst the district. The first copy of it was the last one that was done in 2023 or 2024, excuse me. And then there's a copy behind that, which was reviewed in 2007, which you can probably discard at this point if you want, but for a half a second, that was the most recent copy I had, so I put it in there. The next thing is chapter 32, which is municipal budget law. I printed this from the New Hampshire statutes, annotated, the RSAs. I know that there's only certain sections that really apply to us, but, given my background, I think it's important for everybody to have the entire document, not just, clippings of documents, so you can have it in its entirety. You can absolutely find this stuff online, but I know that some people like to have it in paper. So it's here for you to read and peruse. Next one is, chapter, what is that, 15? Yeah. 15, Education's chapter 195 deals with cooperative school districts, and this one was printed front to back, which is super annoying, but that's how it happened. So sorry about that. But that's, again, this deals with cooperative school districts, which is what we are. And so that's obviously very relevant to the budget committee and, just when you talk about governance. The next item in here is a copy of the deliberative session slides. And I thought that this was important to have because obviously we didn't have any budgetary numbers to hand to you guys to discuss today. But, and if you went to deliberative, this is it's the exact copy of what you got when we went to deliberative. But this is the end process. This is what happens at the end of the year. And it also gives us kind of a jumping off point for discussions for this year, because this is what last year ended, how last year ended. And then the last thing is the actual budget digest of warrant articles in the proposed budget. So again, what it all looked like at the very end. So I know I went through that kind of quickly, but if anybody has any questions or if there's things that you want to discuss a little further, please don't hesitate.
So the district guidelines, I think we're missing page 2.
Did they not, maybe they didn't
Just
photocopy.
just to let you know.
Yeah, okay, because it didn't photocopy.
Okay, so-
Okay.
Just give
Stand
them.
by, I'll get in a second.
Yeah, or I ended up with it. I feel like I had some good.
Sorry.
That happens.
Hey, Brandon.
Fast and furious.
Questions on the material?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jamie?
So I thought the meeting was tomorrow night, so I'm sorry, I didn't prepare anything for budget 101, school district budget 101. We talked about it when Amanda and myself, when we got ready to try to bring the stuff together. If you watched all the stuff last year, you watched through it. And maybe if we can give you the date for that, if you wanna, I think it was taped, I'm not positive. If it was taped, we'll find out what the date is, so if you wanna watch through it, I think it kind of did a high, right? It did a high overview of like, these are the timeframes, these are the type of documents, these are some of what the issues can be. If it wasn't taped, I think it's worthwhile going through that. Just because all school districts, when they're doing budgeting, it's a little bit different, and ours is a little bit different just because we are a cooperative. And so we'll check on that for everybody. I'll also send out, you've probably seen it before, I bet you've seen it too. I'll make sure that the new folks have the little, it tells you how to read the account numbers, the strands.
Oh,
Okay, with the breakdowns of our strands, when you're looking at a financial document coming from the school district, right? We have account numbers and all those account numbers have meanings behind them. And each part of the strand has a specific reason for being there. And that's governmental accounting. And so once you learn that, you can look at anything, school district, federal, state, local, and know how, what you're looking at. Okay, so we'll get that out to you. That's all I had to add.
Thank you. Is that all the orientation materials?
Yeah, this is the first time we've handed out orientation
Oh,
materials.
okay.
So,
I just didn't want to move on to.
no, absolutely, no, this is the first time we've handed out orientation materials, and we thought that, especially last year, we thought that it was important because, when the committee was formed, was it now 3 years ago, we kind of just had to figure out what the process was. We didn't really know what the process, so as we kind of picked up, some tidbits of information moving forward, it would be helpful, I thought, if I was brand new, to be like, here, start here. So that's, and the, I guess the intent behind it was that every year we would review it, we would look at it, and, obviously if nobody, if everybody stays on next year, then do we have to print out the entire packet again? No, but, especially if there's new people, to kind of just bring them up to speed as to what, kind of what we've done, and show the progression of how things have progressed, which is kind of silly sentence, progressing how things progress, but that's okay.
Excellent.
And you
Yeah.
sent out the book,
I
right?
sent the budget book to the new folks that we got last year. Okay, just did it tonight. Oh my God, there was one other document I meant to mention. It'll come back to me.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move on to plan the 2025-2026 meeting calendar. Is by chance one of these color coded ones are proposed?
No,
That's the whole life.
so,
The whole life.
last year we met when, guys?
Wednesday.
Second Wednesday, is that right?
Yes.
That works for me.
And it was because we were meeting in between the school board's two meetings, so in case there was items that had to be acted on, we could get them back, the information back. And so our meetings would still be able to progress.
So, and that worked with Steve Delesio as well.
I think so.
For,
Mhm.
you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes, Walpole.
Thank you.
Yeah, the only one that didn't work for on occasion was me,
Right.
but I won't be there anymore because I'm retiring, so I have no more Wednesday meetings
no more Hanover meetings for you?
or Norwich.
Well, congratulations on your retirement.
Yes. And we would meet at 6:30, right?
We
'Cause
did
that's-
last year.
That's why the materials went out with 6:30 on there.
So, I mean, I think that's open for discussion. I think we met at 6:30 because I was in Hanover when you were out of town as well. So I mean, because it took us a while to get here. But I mean, I think if it's up to the committee, if 6 o'clock is easier or better, I'm not tied to anything.
For 6 works, it's winter, kind of during most of our crunch time, and getting home at 9 in the winters can be a little bit of a.
I agree. I can make 6 work, and the second Wednesday of the month would work for me too, because between select board meetings and whatnot would be fine.
And our meetings are usually once a month, and then they increase as we get closer to the budget.
Yeah, currently nothing on Wednesdays, so it's a safe day.
Okay.
I can make Wednesdays work at 6. It's more of a time for me than it is the day of the week. So
I wouldn't want to go before 6.
I can't now.
No.
It's really rough.
Yeah.
So how formal is this committee? Do we need to put everything to a motion and a vote?
I don't think so. I mean, well, go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go
Do you
ahead.
think it's?
But-
I mean, if we all just said we're good,
Yep.
but do you wanna vote it?
No.
No, well, you're the
Alright,
one.
I just didn't wanna go. mark it down.
We should, we should.
We vote everything, but that's.
All right, so that's all right. So what did you say? Let me just make sure I got it right.
Under-
Third Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Second Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m.
Second Wednesday,
That's what
That
I,
works for you, Jerry, too?
6 p.m.
Yeah.
is there anybody that doesn't work for it? I feel like I heard everybody agree to that. And I hope it works for Steve with his other obligations.
It worked for him last year, so
Yeah.
it should work for him
Perfect.
this year.
Now, is that all we were trying to
Nope.
step for the calendar? I-
Although it could be for tonight, if we set our first meeting and then have everybody go through this or not.
Yep.
What do you
We
think?
could, yeah, that's fine.
Because
Because
we know the school board meeting dates already. We can plug those in. Do we know where this lives?
I think it lives on the drive. If it doesn't, we can put it on
I
the.
think, yeah, I mean, we've been pretty
You shared it?
responsible, and which is important is we all take assignments. And Mike took this last year, creating that, but, you know, with all of the things, so. I'm not sure who wants to take the assignment of updating it with all of the new stuff, but, yeah,
I'll do it.
okay. Okay, retiree soon.
Well, then just because, I mean, all the school board
Yeah,
stuff
that's right.
and
Sure.
Misty, her
And it's-
dates.
Yeah,
So,
sounds good.
if you guys, and then if we're gonna try to commit to second Wednesday evening at 6, that's pretty simple. I'm just gonna
Plug in the date.
look at
Okay.
it, plug it in, and then anything that's left not colored means we have to discuss it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Is this in the shared drive as a doc, Google
It's a
Doc?
Google Doc,
Doesn't
yeah.
look like it is, I'm looking at it right
Okay.
now.
I will find it, Jerry.
will.
It's not.
This would be easy to recreate.
Yeah, recreate.
I have, well, and he did email it to us, so I can
Okay,
just
so
save
it's
it.
in our
It's in our
emails.
email, so
Okay.
we can
We'll
save
move it
it.
to the drive.
That's something else too that. Oh, so yeah, the drive. We have a Google Drive,
It was shared Google Drive.
yeah, that we all have access to, and Misty has access to it, and Alyssa, you have do you have access? I don't remember.
I don't,
No, if you have access to it?
Right.
I'm probably,
I don't know.
oh, look,
I think there's 10 people. There's 10 people that have access to the drive.
I don't think I do.
We are 8. Misty is 9. There is a 10th person.
Maybe it is me.
Business agent, I think she does. Lori.
Oh, Lori, yeah, thank you.
She has
Yes.
access.
Lori has
She puts
access.
stuff on there all the time.
So in the past, one of the things that we have tried to do is to make sure that the drive was organized, so we could find things. There's always room for
Struggle.
improvement. But if you log into your email, you can, up on the right, you can click, it's a regular Gmail account, and you can access the drive, and all that information's on the drive. So when we talk about documents being shared on the drive, that's what we're talking about, and I haven't yet, but I will make sure that I put all these materials,
They're still there.
on the drive. These ones might not be, I might have to scan them. But they might be, well, look, I'll make sure that these materials get on the drive, so that in the future, we don't have to go back and find them other places. Be all one source of truth, is kind of what we're striving for. So, and then when you come back, Jim, the other thing we can do is we can look at dates, and like if the second Wednesday is the 4th of July, which I know it's not, but if it is, we can say, hey, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, if it's a
Holidays.
holiday, I'll leave it uncolored.
So we can figure out what we're gonna do. So.
Garrett? Yes. I know we're still on the calendar. I know, Jamie, that the important aspect really will be that December, January timeframe
Yep.
where we are, at least our group, begging for time, and everything seems so crunched, and we're coming in on the deliberative session, and when we have to have something, a number. So, my point is, I'm hoping this year that we have more room. That information comes a little sooner, so we can, that's, within this,
That will be added to the communication to school board,
Right.
duly noted.
The other thing, how to read the budget lines, sorry.
Yep, that's
And then-
budgeting 101.
Yeah, and then the MS 25 and the MS 22.
Yeah, that's all budgeting 101.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if we, do you remember watching that?
I think I only watched you, I think the actual nuts and bolts of it weren't recorded.
Okay,
I heard the
so,
conceptual, like why you guys wanted to do it
okay,
and some of the gist of it, but I don't think you got like way into it.
okay, so I have pictures and everything. I'll try to recreate that.
Okay.
And whether if I can recreate it and tape it, I will. That way you can do it at your leisure and have it.
Yep.
And, if not, then I'll speak to it and bring the copies of the handouts here.
Awesome.
The only other, oh, I know what it was. Yeah, the only other thing we didn't share, we had done a SWOT analysis.
I thought about that too. Yeah.
And it was really, I think it was very helpful for us as we were looking at, you know, what was important, right, as a school district. So we might want to do an updated one because it changes in a year, right?
Yep.
Things change. So we may want to, at our next meeting with our group, do a new SWOT analysis. And then see, and we can look at the other one.
Yeah.
And, yeah, some of them may be the same and some, you know, I'm sure there'll be differences.
Yeah, and we got positives and negatives from those who were leaving the committee. And so we can bring that in as well. Okay. Listening to feedback.
Excellent, so Jamie's gonna fill in the blanks on the calendar for us to review next month. Anything else on the calendar before we move on? Reports from the administration.
This is something that just is always on the agenda, and if they're here, then great, and if they're not, then that's fine too. So, not to put you on the spot, but if there's anything you want to talk about, you have time.
Oh, I always have things to talk about. So, we all had concerns, including Lori, about, being able to be nimble and provide things that you needed. So what we have done is we've worked backwards to accomplish some of those things now, so that when we are doing the budgeting, as a team, we have those things that this year we kind of struggled with because we hadn't looked at them as deeply as we should have. So let me give you an example of that. One of the things that we were looking at that came up was the stipend matrix. And the stipend matrix is a matrix that shows what is paid to people for extra work. So for example, football coach. Football coach could be a teacher or could be somebody from the community, but they're putting in work above and beyond the school day. So there's a decision about how much we pay that person. So when we looked at the stipend matrix, it, for whatever reason, no one's fault, it hadn't been really looked at for a long time. And there were changes that needed to be done, and we wanted to make those changes. But in the end, what we decided to do was keep the stipend matrix and look at it now. So, for example, tomorrow morning, the lead on the stipend matrix is Brad, our assistant principal here at the high school. We're having our second or third meeting. We're putting together a survey for all of the stipends. So whether you're a coach, or maybe you have some academic stipend, maybe it's student council, you're going to get a questionnaire that asks you things like, how many kids do you serve? How many hours do you put in beyond the school day? we're going to give each of these responses a ranking according to what we feel is, you know, like how many hours, all of that, we'll have a rubric and a ranking. So then we can go back and redesign the stipend matrix to make it more fair and consistent. And provide all of the background. So at the same time, we're deciding on where, how much a coach should make as a stipend, for example. We're also going to be writing the job description. So now we'll have job descriptions for every single job on the stipend matrix. So those are the kinds of things we're trying to get ahead of. Getting that information in. And so that when we get to the table and we look at the stipend matrix, we already know what cost that's gonna be. Lori can put it in the budget and away we go. So we're not also stalling her in arriving at those numbers. So again, we've been doing those kinds of things. That's a major one. We're doing the professional development plan. In a couple of weeks, we're gonna do that for the entire coming school year. So everything is planned. We already know what the costs are. We can project those out even further to the next year. We're also working very closely with our title funding so that we can look at what are the things that we can use title funding for? And that's a tricky one because we can't supplant. But how can we creatively use this to accomplish helping kids where and use it creatively to help our own budget? And again, we have to be very cautious of supplanting. So we're trying to do all those kinds of things this year so that when it comes time to do the budget planning, which begins really even before the school year begins, we have all of that done and completed for Lori. And the other thing that's very positive is this is the second year of zero-based budgeting. And having all the same principals and people in the role will already have gone through it, which is going to make the process go much faster as well.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, it will.
I have a question about when you were talking about PD funding, is that what you're talking about, like the cost of the PD committee? Like, can you, because I'm just trying to figure out if you mean like the budget line that they have to spend for like PD days, or if, and also my question was, are those types of committees that are stipend, are they a part of the stipend matrix already?
I don't
No,
think
they're
I
not
can,
stipend.
no, I
The
don't,
PD committee is now stipend.
It is now.
but
Yes.
It is now. Okay.
I'm not sure that that's part of the stipend matrix. I
Not
would
on
have
the
to check.
matrix, probably not. It's
No.
probably, is it grant funded?
I don't,
It may be part of the CBA, if I remember correctly, so it may be in there.
We're bargaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember where it's documented, but it started, I believe, that every committee member was given a stipend starting, I think, fall of 22.
Let's say way after me.
Yeah, because it was only at that point, it was just the officers. And then with the conversations in the outside of like hours work that it was, it was put in that it was stipend. So I'm not sure, but I was thinking, my first question was like the tech committee, like those types of, is that part of the stipend matrix? And then when you were talking about PD, if you meant like the stipend or the funding they're given for like the college courses and all of that.
Okay, so to answer your question about the tech committee is through a grant.
Perfect.
So it wouldn't be on the stipend committee. And to go back,
Right.
once we have the stipend committee, the stipend completed, then what I would like to do is be part of the reports from the administration and come to you and show it to you now, so that you can ask questions now. So if we need to go back to the table, it's now instead of during budget season. So that's the plan. So as far as professional development, what I'm talking about is we're looking at all of the programs we have. And then are we needing to have in place for professional development through the all of next year, which won't necessarily ring on the budget this year.
Right, but I think, and what you're asking, it's not individual per CBA. This would be school district sponsored.
Right.
Professional development, like if you hire a specialist to come in and speak to the masses or stuff like that.
Okay,
Right.
okay, nope, that answers it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No, that's
what you were
okay.
saying.
I knew what you both were talking about.
Okay.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so anytime you can, you redirect that to a grant that saves your budget, saves the bottom line. even.
Oh, yeah,
As long as you're not supplanting. Does everybody understand what supplanting is?
I'll take a quick definition.
Okay. So when you apply for grant monies, hopefully they'll still be there, who knows, but anyway, when you apply for any kind of grants, really, state, federal, local, when you apply for that, the understanding is that you're not going to, if it's already in your regular budget, you're not gonna pull it out of your regular budget and stick it in that grant. That's supplanting. It has to be when you apply for grant monies for something, it's something that you're not already doing. Okay, you could, or you might be doing it already, but maybe you're wanting to look at doing it differently. So if you're gonna do a study or you're going to do analysis on something that you're already doing to maybe change how you deliver like a curriculum or deliver programming, then you could use grant funds for that, right? But if it's something that you've been budgeting all along and you've been paying for it, then you can't just go, oh, look, windfall of profits, and yank it out and stick it over there.
Yeah, you can't take like a.
Oh, yeah, you're a
special-
grant specialist.
You can't take a special ed teacher that you've been paying for in your tax base and decide, oh, we no longer want to pay for that, we're gonna pay for it grant funds, because that's a huge no-no.
The only one that you can put, and usually the only one that you can put positions into are your what are called IDEA grants, because they're entitlement grants for,
That's special ed.
yeah, for students with disabilities. Yeah. So they'll let you budget for certain positions within that type of a grant, and you can do it perpetually. Some grants you can put new positions in, but within 2 or 3 years, you have to take them out and put them in your own budget.
Deb, in that study I mentioned, did that also include refs? Because each of the communities played their referees differently.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so.
Is that something we need to look into?
I just think if we were gonna pay them one
Standardize
price, yeah, I don't standardize,
Yeah.
yeah, we just.
Are they paid for? Here's the question, sorry.
Yep.
The question, does the district pay them? These are district games? Oh, gotcha. Okay. Like for middle school? Gotcha. Okay.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Moving on to other housekeeping items, email access.
I just wanted to make sure you guys had access to your emails? No, okay.
I'm meeting with.
Okay. Does everybody else have access to their email? Does everybody, like the groups, everybody, does anybody have email problem? It's not just the new people.
I'll get me started on the work a little after.
Okay. Internet access, if you want a device to work here, you have to talk to Kyle, and he'll give you a code. It's good for a year,
Mm-mm.
an internet access
I'm gonna
code.
change it a little bit, but I'll get everyone taken care of.
If you need internet, go to Kyle. Is there any other housekeeping items that we can think of from kind of bringing? This is the first time that we've had, a large turnover in the committee since we started. So if there are other things that we haven't thought of, that you guys have questions about. Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. That's all I could think of about, making sure that we were ready to kind of rock and roll, move forward.
Is there any new business to bring forward?
I don't think so per se. I think that kind of planning for the next meeting.
Jamie?
Go ahead.
I mean, if you didn't hear, Walpole passed the vote to do a study to succeed from the nation, and Langdon's vote that was taken was in the affirmative, but was dependent upon Walpole's affirmative vote. So if you didn't hear, I just want everybody to understand that we'll be undergoing, I'll get it wrong because I wasn't here last time, but we'll be undergoing a withdrawal study. And so all but the at-large members of the school board and one each select person, yay you, Diane, will be very busy and engrossed in that endeavor.
Starting April 14th, I
Starting
believe.
April 14th, yes. So yeah, that's where we're at. And although it won't have any direct bearing on this year's budget committee, and probably not the next year out, it would be a 2-year transitionary period before we'd have any.
Depending on findings.
Right.
Depending on findings, yes, if it had any effect.
Is it just Walpole right now, or is it Langdon as
Langdon too.
well, because Walpole, okay.
Yes, because Langdon's vote was contingent upon Walpole's vote.
Nice to be tied by the hip.
Comment there.
I think it's an engagement, not necessarily a marriage.
Can't help it, my governor is,
It might be an engagement, that's not necessarily a marriage. Because your votes would be.
You're just dating right now.
They're dating.
Anything else under new business?
No, but I think that,
Oh,
go ahead, sorry.
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
I'm not sure if it's appropriate to speak in your committee about new business, but I would like to reach out and invite all of you to come and sit with me for a half hour. Just have conversations about the districts, start a relationship. I'm an interim. The board is in the process of selecting a new superintendent, and I'm here till the end of June.
2028.
Excellent. Nice, very nice.
But I think it's still important to have a relationship with you, take you around the district office. We have a new board member, Karen Schwabe. So this morning, she had asked me if she could take a tour of the district. So if that's something you're interested in, because sometimes I think it's really important if you've not been in Charlestown Middle School, for example, or you've not been up to North Walpole, going and walking through the buildings and seeing the teachers and the kids and the condition of the buildings and so forth, and just having time to discuss that would be very helpful. So I'll have Misty reach out to you. Chris has come up and we've just sat and chatted, and that's really what it is, a chat. But it's also a chance for you to see the district office and be introduced to all the people. So when we talk about Scott in the business office, you know who we're talking about. So I'd like to invite you to spend a few minutes with me.
Thank you.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. I'll definitely take you up on that.
Nice.
Something else too, totally forgot, today Misty asked me if I would be the budget committee representative for the new superintendent selection committee, which I accepted. But thinking about it now, maybe I should have brought it to the committee to say, what do you guys think? Are you guys okay with that?
Always good, right?
Hey, I want it. It's less than 12 hours old. Chill out.
She was the vice whatever and the only
Yes.
one still remaining. other than me, and I'm already on the committee. okay?
Should be, is there a representative we'd like to send?
There you go.
What, how it should be,
Yeah,
right?
so is there a representative you'd like to send?
Yes, me.
Well, we can't all go, so.
Sure you'll do fine.
I have no objection to that.
Yeah.
Everybody else, okay, with that?
Fine, yep.
Fine.
Opening party.
Good time. You're right with that, Jerry?
And if I wasn't, I'd get outvoted anyway.
I don't know about that. If you really wanna go.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Last call for new business before we move on. Okay, hearing none. Communications to the school board, or communication, sorry, that wasn't pluralized.
We put this on here starting last year so that we could, kind of just up, the communication back and forth to the school board and the budget committee, because we are supposed to work collaboratively. We work collaboratively with administration, but also with the school board. And with Jamie being the liaison between both committees, we were using her role to kind of pass that message. If there's something specific that we want to make sure that gets to the school board, we were using that role to make sure it got there and on their minutes and on their agenda if necessary. So that's why that's there.
It's so we don't forget. That's so Jamie doesn't forget.
Oh, it's placeholder.
Really, she's being kind, okay? Or if I had to miss a meeting, then they would make sure they said that it's communication to the school board, and I would read it and hopefully remember to bring it up.
There.
Chris.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
I know last year we mentioned it briefly, but this goes to the school board and to the superintendent is, over the last 3 years, this now being our fourth, a number of our fourth year. And what we found is that it behooves us to collaborate more with the school board. Us being the numbers people, trying to figure out and trying to get answers from you if we could meet more often, but it would be nice if we met somehow in the spring here at some point, whatever's convenient, once or twice before the summer goes, so we could all kind of start, really being on the same page with things. I think that's what, over the last 3 years, we realized is the disconnect, and we're starting to connect. The transparency really is coming, and everything seems to be coming organized. Maybe not as fast as we all would like, but it's getting organized. And so I just would bring that up to our committee here to pass back over to you folks to say that that's something at least I'm interested in, is meeting as a collective, to really be able to just, air out things. And because sometimes the communication's slow, we go from here, we pass, information up, then it comes back down. So face to face would be nice.
So to your point.
Yes, ma'am.
If I might, do you want to look to add maybe quarterly? Not during the depth of the crazy budget part,
Yeah, not that period.
but, or to add a date in on when the school boards are maybe already meeting, maybe our workshop night.
Yeah, or even when you guys go picnic, I think, the
We
interim
just want
section
in on our
provides-
lakeside villa,
When you guys go to your annual picnic, maybe you can invite
All the
us.
retreat.
Yeah, right.
well, we did,
We
if I
talked
may,
about that.
we
Yeah.
did talk about
It's not
a
as fun as
couple
you think
meetings
that
ago
is.
about doing a separate. A joint budget committee and school board retreat this summer,
Mhm.
in addition to our, planning retreat for
Yeah.
the school board itself, so. It sounded like everybody was on board, so I have it in my calendar to talk to Misty and the board about scheduling that. So we will definitely put something together and figure out a date for
That
everyone.
might be nice for August.
We have typically done we could do our school board one in July perhaps. And do budget.
We do August and September, but yeah, anyway, yeah, we can chat, yeah.
But one this spring during this school year, just to meet everybody again, because we do have, we have community members, and I think it'd be good to, before this year ends.
On a meeting, yeah, to do a joint meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll see where it might fit in there.
Okay,
You had to know.
I was gonna mention that we had talked about the retreat.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
just wanted.
I just want the donut, that's all.
You just
get
want
the
the chicken
donut.
salad. His is donuts, so
Right.
Shelley's is chicken salad.
Okay.
Excellent, I guess moving on to the next meeting, looking at my calendar, this, yes, April 9th.
It will. I'm going to make a suggestion here. Just because it's gonna happen, I was just working on a calendar. It's gonna happen probably 4 times for us, where the first Monday is not, the first of that week in the month we're in is a Tuesday. So it pushes the school board, pushes the school board meeting out, which would make it the 3rd Wednesday for us if we want to be in between. So.
I think it's important to be in between.
Okay, so you're gonna have it's gonna happen in April, it looks like it will happen in July perhaps, and possibly September and October, so we might be hitting maybe the 3rd Wednesday a few times instead of the 2nd.
I think that's a great interjection as far as staying in sync.
So
That
it would be,
school board.
yeah, so it'd be April 16th. I'm gonna be on a plane, I know, I can zoom, I could zoom it, I can zoom it, right? I can zoom, ladies?
Yes.
Okay. I can zoom it, but
April 16th it is, unless anybody,
get the rest of it.
Yeah.
Chris,
Oh, no, sorry.
Did I get it wrong?
No,
And that's with the board?
No, that's just us. Our next meeting is April 6th.
Okay, then I would ask, what is it that we
Yep.
should have? What are we gonna be doing at the next meeting?
I think budget 101 discussion maybe.
Thank you.
I think it would be good, just my personal thoughts. I think it would be good if we looked at the MS-22 that was just signed. Because that's the document that gets filed at the very end, based on what was voted, right? And it's one of the documents that
What do you call it?
MS-22. It's the report of appropriations as voted. Okay. And just look at maybe some of the voting results too, I think that's can be informative. And then maybe I can get from Lori where we are now for this year.
Good.
Yeah, because she's been giving us regular reports, we'll get it in Excel format, so if anybody wants to play with it and take a look at it, she usually doesn't mind us, doing that. Because that could be informative for a little bit as we make our way to move forward.
Can we get those, are those sent to to us or are they sent to the school board, the where we are now? The report from Lori.
Yeah, the financial reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good about forwarding them, I'm sorry, I can ask, can we ask, she usually brings them to the board, discusses them, and then we forward, right? Yeah, cause I want the board to see it before it goes viral, okay, so
Okay.
when did we just do one? It was March,
It was,
March,
did we?
I think we did
was
one.
it the last meeting? I'm sorry, I think so.
I think it was the
So
beginning one in March, so I'll get it off to you, okay? That would have been the most recent, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was, I don't know, we've had so many meetings, but I think it was March. It might have been end of
I was
February,
thinking the end of February, but
okay, anyway, we do have one and we'll get it off to you. And then we'll ask for the Excel spreadsheet of the date, and just, we all know, right, it's a snapshot in time and it changes daily, right, so.
Okay. And we can talk about the SWOT too.
Yeah, for the next, I have that on, here, for the next meeting.
Much next meeting,
Oh,
right?
yeah, to do
So
a minute.
budgeting 101,
Yeah.
discussing MS-22, looking at the SWOT, and then the where are we now? Board report, which is not the formal name of it, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
what I'm
it's a-
calling
It's a
it.
business manager financial report.
That one.
The year to date.
Or BA, yes, well, she does it quarterly, I think we're doing it quarterly. So,
Jerry,
In conjunction with the SWOT, can we take a look at potential risks? Look at the risks,
Yeah.
because it seems like
yeah,
there's a lot of things
Yes.
up in the air this
Yes.
season.
all the way around,
All the
right,
way
yeah,
around, so not just look at the
Local,
SWOT, but look at
government,
risks.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's-
Great idea,
Yeah,
Jerry.
great idea.
Yes.
Yeah, federal, local,
It's that quality
State.
background I have.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's very good.
Good stuff. All right, Ed, local.
You're gonna share that with me, right?
Of course I am.
Good job.
That's how we work.
Yes.
Wait, sorry, we said 4/19/25, right?
No,
Yes.
416.
16, that's why we also work together, at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
here in the library
here in the library.
with the candlestick.
No murders.
Kyle, I'll make notation to the location you were saying. I want to talk to you afterwards about that. Just,
Is there a better one? Oh, in there?
I'm hoping.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, as long as we don't have a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Tell us where to go.
Well, because then they don't have to move everything around and all the technologies in the tech room anyway.
Oh, that sounds way easier for Kyle, you know, it's my first meeting.
Yeah, well, and the custodians too, because I,
Absolutely.
yeah, you guys, all of you, yeah, that's a good
No, I'm
idea.
on board with that for sure.
Because we're usually a small group unless there's something really interesting and then we would know, right?
And we would have to have this from instead.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Look at us making
But there's still
change and progress.
I think,
Additional people.
not to get ahead of our committee, but
There
it
was a
would be good
class.
at some point after the next meeting, it sounds like after one-on-one that we bring up maybe the idea of us going back and looking at Fall Mountain, not the local towns, but Fall Mountain's budget, because that was one of the ones we just didn't have enough time to get through.
You mean the high school?
The high school budget, yes, ma'am.
I think that's a good idea. And it will also help the new people kind of go in and you can look at what the line items look like and kind of it's dual purpose at that point.
So maybe May, because you'll be that much further. ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll be that much better off if we go analyze what happened last year for what's coming, and we should have an expectation or at least a knowledge of things that either can be reduced or things that,
Well, right, and she could pull us a budget with a year to date and a
Right.
prior year into May, and then you're pretty close to where you're gonna end up and you can see where the anomalies are.
Exactly.
because as we've been watching, we know our town little schools are pretty tight on budget. I mean, they are pretty tight. It's, for the most part, so
Well, then they're direct.
direct to the
Yeah.
town.
Well, and this is, it's on page 3, but the budget breakdown too. This was one of the best, I think, slides of the entire presentation. Was to show visually where is everything going.
Oh, yeah.
So it's,
Yeah, and you could do that by the budget.
Mhm.
I mean, you could literally do that by
Or
each of the 12
each.
budget.
that's a good idea.
You know, we're made up of 12 mini budgets. So I'm not gonna say mini, because high school's pretty big, but large individuals that make one big, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Anything else to come before this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
7:11 p.m. Oh, my lord, hold on, I wasn't ready.
Okay, take 2.
Move to adjourn at 7:11 p.m.
Any,
By Amanda,
Amanda.
yeah.
And then, right,
Oh, yeah, I'll second it.
okay.
any objections?
You can stay if you want to.
Whoever does, you tell them to get out.